Hi all, welcome to Andrea M. D'Souza's kitchen. This is what I'm going to be preparing for you today. This is chole and it tastes fantastic, so I won't talk much more about it. I'm going to go directly to the recipe. I've got 2 cups of soaked Kabuli chanas. This is how they looked like earlier, and then I soaked them overnight in water, and this is how they look now. Now I'm going to first put this in a pressure cooker along with these masalas. But make sure that these masalas, you don't put them plain. You tie them in a piece of cloth and make a little potli. I'll do that in a while, but let me show you these masalas first. I have around little more than half a teaspoon of black tea leaves. I have ajwain or carom seeds, around 1/3 of a teaspoon. I have around 5 crushed cloves of garlic, an inch of cinnamon, 2 cardamom, 1 black cardamom, 3 or 4 pieces of cloves, and 3 or 4 pieces of pepper. And these are 2 bay leaves. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to tie them tightly in a cloth, and I'm going to put it in the pressure cooker along with my chanas. So my chanas have gone into the cooker. I'll put a bit of salt. Here's my potli that I'm going to be putting in, and a pinch of baking soda, so that these chanas become soft. Now this is optional. You don't really need to put baking soda, but you can put it if you want. Now I'll put a little bit of water just so it covers the chanas. See, it's not too much. Can you see? Just a little so that it covers. And now I'm going to put this on the low flame, not low flame actually, on a medium flame, and let it get around 5 to 6 pressures. We don't want our chanas very hard, we want them soft, so 5 to 6 pressures on a medium flame. And while I'm doing that, I'll make the chili, ginger and garlic paste also. I'm going to first coarsely grind these chilies, ginger and garlic. Now you can also pound them in the hand, but I'll use the mixer to grind them. And after they are coarsely ground, I will remove that, and in the same mixer, I'm going to grind 2 tomatoes. So let's do this first. So I'm going to coarsely grind it now. There are around 5 pieces of garlic, half an inch of ginger and 3 green chilies. If you want to put less green chilies, if your family does not like the spice level too much, then you can put 1 or 2 green chilies depending on your choice. So I'll coarsely grind it now. There it is. I'll remove this aside and I'm going to grind the tomatoes in this same mixer. So I've put the tomatoes here. You don't need to add any water, so I'll go ahead and grind it now. So our chanas have boiled. Can you see this? I'm going to remove this and I'm going to keep this aside. This needs to be thrown out. We don't need to use this now. And see the chanas. Ow, it's hot, it's hot. If I press it, it's too hot, I can't press it, but if you press it, it's become nice and soft. So now I'll go ahead with the chole. I've kept my pan to heat up. Now that is heated, I will add some mustard oil to it and let it heat on a low flame. When the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add around half a teaspoon of ajwain to it. And I'm also going to add this ginger, garlic and chili that I had coarsely ground. Just let it fry for around 30 seconds or so. You don't want to burn things too much. And now I'm going to add my onion. This is 1 onion that I have finely chopped. So I'm going to add the onion and let it fry on a medium flame until it becomes nice and tender and slightly brown. So once you find the onion frying well, we'll start adding our masalas. This is some Kashmiri chili powder that I'm going to add, around a teaspoon of it. Half a teaspoon of haldi powder. Around half a teaspoon, a little more of dhania powder. Little bit around 1/4 teaspoon of jeera powder. And I'm going to mix it well. If you want to add a little bit more of chili, you can do that also. But since I already added 3 green chilies, I won't be adding more chili powder. And I use Kashmiri because Kashmiri gives a good color, but at the same time, it's not very spicy. Now, I also have this. There is a little bit of Andrea's special garam masala powder. You'll find this recipe in my on my channel. There is also a little bit of amchur powder here, around half a teaspoon, and around little more than half a teaspoon of chole masala. Now, I have used the Everest chole masala. There are people who obviously make their own chole masala, but since I have not made it, I have bought some Everest chole masala. You can use whichever that you would like. Now let this fry well. Okay, lower the flame, don't burn it too much. And after it has fried, we are going to add our tomato puree. Lovely color, isn't it? Okay. Let it just fry for a while longer. I've added 2 tomatoes. You can add more also if you like, 1 more tomato. I've not used too many tomatoes because all of you know the prices of tomatoes in the market these days. So let's just let it fry for a minute or 2. To this, I'm just going to add a little bit of these chole. Not much, just a little. And I'm going to mash it. This is so that my gravy becomes nice and thick. There you go, I'm mashing it. So once this is mashed, I'm going to add the rest of my chole and I'm going to mix it up. And just let it cook for just around a minute or 2. Mix it well and just let it cook in the masala for a minute or 2, and then we'll add the water. They are already very soft. This is that water that was there in the cooker. I also put a little water in the mixer that I was using earlier to grind the tomatoes. So that water also I'll add. To this, I'm also going to add 2 small potatoes. Now, I had not added these potatoes earlier in the cooker because they would become too soft. And we like potatoes with our chole, so I'm going to add them. Now, this is an optional step. If you don't like potatoes, it's okay if you don't add it. So let this all mix properly. And now I'm going to cover and let it cook for a while until the potatoes are cooked and until this mixture is a little thick. I'm getting ready for the tadka. This is a little bit of desi ghee that is melting in my tadka pan. And while this is getting hot, let's have a look at our chole. Here it is. Can you see how nice and thick it has become? And the potatoes also have cooked well. Now let's get the tadka ready. For the tadka, I have some green chilies that I've cut into strips, some pieces of ginger that I've cut. Here is kasuri methi and a little bit of garam masala. So while my ghee is getting hot, I'm going to first add the ginger and the chilies and let them cook for a little while. I won't add the kasuri methi right now, and I won't add the garam masala right now, or sorry, chole masala right now, because I don't want it to burn. Can you see this? Now I'll add the kasuri methi. Kasuri methi is basically dry methi leaves. Let it fry well for a minute. I don't want my chole to burn. So once this is fried, I'm going to switch off the flame because I don't want the chole masala to burn. And now in the hot oil, I'm going to add it. And I'm going to add this to my I'm also going to sprinkle some coriander leaves and squeeze a bit of lime. Now I'm going to mix it all up. There you go. Our chole looks lovely, doesn't it? So this can be had with puris, this can be had with paratha, whatever you can make at your home. Wow, and it smells even better than it looks. I'm going to switch off the flame and let it settle for a while, and then we'll enjoy this with our puris. So here's my dish for today. I have my chole, I have puri, I have amras, and of course some onions that go well with it. You also try it out and don't forget to give me your feedback. And I'm looking forward to your calls, messages, SMSs, and photographs of this food that you've cooked. And also remember to like my video and to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Andrea M. D'Souza's Kitchen. And don't forget to share it with everyone who loves good food. Have a great day ahead.